Hey y'all, it's been a minute, huh? My last upload was like the end of March, which was like, I don't know, 2 months ago now. But I'm back for a little bit at least, because E3 is coming up, and so I want to do a reaction to the E3 presentation, but I also want to do some predictions for the future. Along with that, there are a couple other videos I'm going to hopefully be getting out soon. But let's jump into this one. Today, I'm just going to be talking about what I think is going to be happening at E3 and a few things that I'd like. So let's get started. I think the first thing I have on my list here is pretty obvious. There's going to be a new Smash character revealed. And you know me, I'm really hoping for Prince Fluff, but it's probably going to be a Microsoft rep like Steve or maybe Banjo. I don't know. I hope it's Steve. Like, if I can't have Prince Fluff, I'd love Minecraft Steve in Super Smash Bros. Partially just because it'll make people angry, and I think that'd be funny, but also because he could probably have a pretty interesting moveset. Now, alright, Pokemon. I don't want too much. I don't want them to focus on this too much, or at least if they do, be showing us new stuff. I don't just want a repeat of the Pokemon Direct where they're just telling us everything we already know now. But while I do want a bunch of new stuff shown, if they're gonna go super in depth with it, I don't want a lot of new Pokemon shown. I feel like if they're gonna show too many new Pokemon, then it's just gonna sort of spoil the surprise of when you first go in. And if you can go in and it's like, wow, look at all these new Pokemon I haven't seen yet because they haven't been spoiled in trailers and stuff, that'd be really cool. I feel like with Sun and Moon, they just showed you a bunch of the Pokemon. Like, I think on Twitter they just revealed a ton of them. I know there was also a leak that came out, so maybe I'm confusing it with that, because I did see that leak with the new Pokemon in it. But just don't show anymore, alright? The couple that we saw are fine. Maybe show one more at E3 if you really have to. But other than that, just stick with gameplay information and like new features. Okay, so this new Dynamax feature, I'm gonna be honest, it looks kind of boring to me. It's like, okay, we have another Mega Evolution rehash, because what did we have? We had Mega Evolutions, and we had the Z moves, which I guess was kind of different, but it's still like basically the same thing in my eyes. And then we have Dynamax, which is just your Pokemon get real strong for like, but it's only temporary. It's not like a new evolution. I don't know. I would have preferred if they. I really wish after X and Y, rather than introducing all these new things, they just went ahead and kept introducing new Mega Evolutions like they did in Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire. Because now eventually we're just going to have so many different mechanics, it's going to be too confusing. Actually, a while back, before Sun and Moon came out, there was this channel, Noggin, that had this big theory about how Pokemon Sun and Moon was going to be like the last of this sort of generation. I know each Pokemon game is a new generation, but like the overall like generation of Pokemon, like Gen 7, after that they were just gonna like start over fresh with all new Pokemon and stuff. And I think honestly the series could really benefit from that with the direction it's heading right now, because they're just introducing so much stuff. Like, there are too many features, and I know that it's a less is more sort of situation, right? Because if you have so many features that it's just too hard to keep track of them all, the game doesn't become fun at that point. Which is why I think Let's Go was a breath of fresh air for everyone, because they got rid of a lot of the more complicated stuff. And while I do think they probably should have kept abilities and held items in there, they got rid of overall most of the stuff that people don't really like about the series, and they just made it a lot more accessible to everyone, which I think really helped. One thing I do like about the Dynamax, though, is the giant Pokemon battles with that you can do with your friends. So what I really want is a sort of, we kind of had it in Let's Go, but not really, where you can run around with your friends in the world, in an open world, and just be catching Pokemon and just go on your journey together. I highly doubt we're going to get something where you and your friend can play through the main game together. We sort of had that in Let's Go, but it wasn't done perfectly. What would be perfect, my ideal multiplayer mode for Pokemon. You both get to have your own team of 6 Pokemon. You can each run around with them. You can go wherever, anywhere in the world, and you can meet up. You can battle each other if you'd like. It's basically like an MMO, but just like 2 people, or you're just running around the world, and you will see each other, but you don't necessarily have to be with each other constantly. I think that'd be perfect, but I do not think we're going to get that. What I do think is much more likely is something very similar to that, but rather than being able to run around the whole region, you can run around in that new park, safari zone type area together. And I think that would be amazing because, again, I'd really love it if you could run around the whole region together. But the next best thing, I think, would just be a huge area where you can run around together, which is what this safari zone type area appears to be. I really wish I remembered what it was called because, oh well. Okay, so I think we've talked enough about Pokemon, so let's move on to Luigi's Mansion. Now, I have never played a Luigi's Mansion game, but I love Halloween. I love all the spooky stuff, and when I say spooky, I mean it's not scary, but it's sort of like a funny, scary sort of thing, you know? That is exactly what Luigi's Mansion is, at least what I can tell from the gameplay I've seen. I actually have Dark Moon on 3DS, I just have not played it. I've just never gotten around to it. I keep saying I want to play this around Halloween, that'll be fun, and then I forget, and another year goes by where I don't play it. There's only really one thing I want to talk about here. I'm sure Luigi's Mansion will have a fairly big or fairly long section dedicated to it. But what I really want, and what has been sort of teased but not really, is multiplayer. So at one point in Luigi's Mansion 3 trailer, you can see some paintings. They're almost completely cut off, but you can see the bottom of them, and you can just barely make out that on them is Toad, Mario, Luigi, and Peach, I believe in that order. And they're all crossed off. I'm not entirely sure what that means, because you can see that you're playing as Luigi, so I honestly don't know. But a lot of people, including myself, think that that will likely be a multiplayer mode, showing that you can play maybe 4 players, I'd hope, but maybe that's just 4 different characters you can select from and you can only have 2 or 3 people. I don't know. But that's all I really want for Luigi's Mansion 3. Everything else looks to be great as it is. So, yeah. I didn't have anything else to say, so I don't know why I started to continue that sentence. Let's move on. Link's Awakening, they've said that that's one of the main 3 they're focusing on. I think they said Pokemon, Luigi's Mansion, and Link's Awakening are the 3 games they're going to be mainly focusing on, which I guess makes sense. I could have sworn I heard they were going to be focusing on Mario Maker 2, but I guess not. Maybe they changed it, I'm not really sure. But Link's Awakening, I don't have much to say about this. I mean, I've played a bit of the original Link's Awakening I played it on 3DS. I know it didn't come out there, but all I really have to say is that I really love the art style. I know that a lot of people don't, a lot of people do. I'm sure there are people that are indifferent, but I really like it. I'm not sure what it is about it. It's just like the clay-looking style to it. It all looks like toys. It's really nice. Okay, so Fire Emblem 3 Houses. I don't know, I think they might have had a direct or something where they talked about this a while ago in Japan, and I didn't see it. But I am excited for this game. I'd like to play it when it comes out. All I really want, I think this might have happened already, I'm not really totally sure. I want introductions to all the 3 houses' different characters. So I can't remember, the red house, the yellow house, and the blue house. I want all those characters introduced to us so that I know which house I want to pick. Other than that, I really don't want them to spend too much time, because in the very likely event that they did already have a direct or something of the like for 3 houses, I'd rather they don't go into too much detail here. Super Mario Maker 2, I don't want them to spend too much time on this because they did already have a direct exclusively for this, which I think is why they probably aren't going to be focusing on it mainly at E3. But I think if they're going to show anything, just show us a new game mode. There's obviously going to be a new game mode because you can see on the game mode select screen when it pops up in the direct, you can see that there's an empty space, and I think it's very clear that there's another game mode that's going to be there. And since they all go in order in 3D World, I think 3D World was on the left side. It's probably going to be Super Mario Odyssey because I cannot think of any other Mario game that would work in Super Mario Maker that came out after 3D World, other than Odyssey, of course. If it's on the right side, which it might have been, but I'm pretty sure it was on the left, I'm going to guess we're probably going to get Mario Brothers 2, because that's another game like 3D World that's very different from the other games in the series, at least the ones that are in Mario Maker. And I think if they are going to have another game that's just completely different, another game mode that's completely different, then I think that Super Mario Bros. 2 would be the game. Finally, for this section, we have Marvel Ultimate Alliance. I don't care but I'm sure they'll talk about it because I think it's like an exclusive or something. I don't know. Okay, so I think it's very possible, but also not. It's very possible. It's not incredibly likely that this will happen. But two new Smash characters. So I already talked about how Steve or Banjo is probably gonna get in again. Maybe Prince Fluff. I'm not really sure who else could be in. I made a video a little while back talking about like 30 Smash DLC predictions. I might do that again sometime soon, but in a different style than what I did before. We'll see. But watch out for that if you want to see who else I want in Smash Brothers, because I didn't really think about it for this video, so I don't have much to say on that topic. Animal Crossing. Please show us Animal Crossing. I feel like at this point it's probably going to be a 2020 release unless they show it here. Go all out, please, because if they don't talk about it very much, then they need to have a direct dedicated to it later, which I think is probably what they're going to do, because they haven't said they're focusing on Animal Crossing at all, which I feel like if they had a ton of information to share about it, that they wanted to share about it at E3, they definitely would. So it seems like it's going to be a Mario Maker 2 situation where it has its own sort of direct later on. Alright, Astral Chain. I don't know much of anything about this game. It looks kind of cool, but I think it's pretty likely that they talk about it. And I guess this is the last game for this section. Yeah. I keep trying to continue my sentences when I don't have anything else to say, and it's not a good idea, so I'm gonna have to work on that, I think. But I'll see you in the next one. Next section, I mean, not the next video. Anyway. Alright, here's what do I want? These are pretty unlikely. One of them's like actually never gonna happen, and it makes me want to cry. And the other one is going to happen eventually. I feel like it's just probably definitely not gonna happen at E3. So let's start with the one that's going to happen one day, which makes me a little bit happy. It's Yokai Watch 4. I want a release date for outside of Japan. I know it's coming out in like winter in Japan. I don't remember when. But the end of the year, I'd love for Yokai Watch 4 to come out this year or early 2020. We don't have Yokai Watch 3 here though. So, I mean, I guess we would probably get 3 first. But also the 3DS is kind of dying at this point, and 3 was on the 3DS. So, I don't know. Maybe they'll just call Yokai Watch 4 something different in America. I honestly don't know. But that game looks amazing. If they have an English translation, or not, an English mode in the Japanese version of the game, I'm definitely buying that. But I'd love an official North American release. Yippee! Sometime soon, though. Not in like 3 years, which is what is probably going to happen, honestly. And finally, for what I want, Kirby's Epic Yarn 2, baby! Alright, I tried to clap there and then I realized that it would probably not sound very good, and I stopped. Anyway, Kirby's Epic Yarn 2 would be amazing. I don't have any ideas. I was gonna say I have a ton of ideas, but I don't. But that's Nintendo's job, or Goodfield's job, or whoever is developing it. Make a great game. I didn't like Woolly World, Yoshi's Woolly World, that much. I know a lot of people did. I was like, it's okay. I don't like the Yoshi's Island games that much. It was kind of boring. But whatever. Because all I want is a new Kirby's Epic Yarn. I feel like, I was really worried because I was like, uh-oh, Nintendo has given up on Epic Yarn because they don't have Prince Fluff in Kirby Star Allies. It's a forgotten game forever. It's never coming back. And then they released a port remake sort of thing. I don't know. I guess it's not a port because they added new stuff. On the 3DS, I bought that. Go buy it and support Kirby's Epic Yarn. Maybe we'll get a new one. But please, Nintendo, please, if you're watching, please just release my Kirby's Epic Yarn 2. Alright, and that was my what's it called? My E3 predictions. Okay, bye. Oh wait, no, I just remembered. What did I remember? Ah, that's right, I wanted to say something. I don't know. I'm sure that they're going to have more announcements on this. Or, well, not more announcements, but they're going to have some different announcements that aren't on this list. Because they probably have new games or third-party games they're going to talk about. But I almost exclusively focused on Nintendo games, aside from a few. But listen. I feel like we need to get, like, one new game announcement. Like, a completely new game we haven't heard about yet for this, little thing that's happening here. I don't know what I'm talking about anymore. I need to just stop talking and edit this video now. So I'm just gonna go. I'm just gonna go, and I'll see you later, folks. I'll see you around. So, like, bye.